Welcome to Young at Heart, sponsored by the Kingston Council on Aging. I'm Donna Rodriguez, your host for today, and I am joined by Director of Elder Affairs, Tammy Murray.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great and so happy to have you here for the show.
Thank you.
Now tell me, you are new to the council. How long have you been with them?
Just about 2 months.
2 months? That's fantastic. Are you enjoying it?
I am. It's fun. It's a great fit for me, so I'm really enjoying it.
Now tell me, since you are new to the council, what is it that brought you to them? What made you decide that you'd like to work with them as their new director?
I had worked at the Kingston Housing Authority for 3 years. I was the director for one, and in that time I got to see what I could bring to an organization like that. And being at the Council on Aging, it gives you the opportunity to reach out to more people. I was very limited in who I could reach out to, and I can still reach out to those people in this role. So it's really the length of the reach for me.
So having the background with social work, but you also have some other experience in finance that helps to bring a whole nother layer to the council.
Yes, I was in finance and relationship management for 15 years, so budgeting is second nature to me.
I might be able to talk to you after the show then. No, tell me, in your work with the council, you've only been there 2 months. You say you're already really enjoying the folks there. Tell me a little bit about what your experience have been so far.
It's been great, from the kitchen staff, who are mostly volunteers, and also with Old Colony Elder Services, to the office staff. It's really a cohesive group. The volunteers are incredible. They all really care about the product, which is being the services to the people in the town. So it's really easy to get everybody focused and stay on the same page with the same goal in mind. So it's been really nice to work with them. And also the people who come in and do programs for exercise classes. We have yoga and Zumba and things like that. It's really fun. I've picked up Zumba now. So that's been enjoyable as well.
So you've been really able to get a little taste of every single thing that the council offers in a short period of time.
I have, yeah. I jumped right in to see. I had some of my own ideas of what I would like to see the reach be. So getting in there and just solidifying that what they were doing was really good.
So tell me, what are some of your short-term goals or goals that you've developed with folks at the council?
Right now we're looking more at outreach and reaching the people that we don't touch every day. We're really, really good at providing services to, I would say, a little more than a third of the population of seniors in our area. That reach could be extended by more aggressive outreach programs, or reaching out to local churches and agencies to get more information about who we can help, as well as reaching out to people our ages who have parents who are getting older and what's available for them.
Oh, that's fantastic as a service. I don't think a lot of people would realize that there are services for them if they aren't in the age range for the council.
It's true, and in fact, to use one of my own stories, I helped my mom with her retirement and getting on the right insurances and making sure she got Medicare Part D and the whole bit, and knowing the whole time there was someone at the council that could have helped her with that. So if it had been more in my face, so to speak, I would have thought to call him and have him do it.
Now, what do you think some of the roadblocks are for people to come through your door for the first time?
I think there's a perception that they have to join or they have to pay a fee. We do request a name, address, and age when you enter the building. At that point, you're welcome to all the services. You could call and never give us your age or name, and we would still send you to what you needed to do. It just helps our numbers. If you give us that information, we can keep track of what we'd helped you with before. And also, the Friends on the Council on Aging, they raise money for the council. And they do have a membership with a $5 fee per year. But you don't have to do both. It's great if you do both, but you don't have to do both. So there's a little confusion when people come in that I'm seeing, that they say, oh, how do I join? And we're like, you already have. You walk through the door.
Okay. Now, is there an age range or for receiving services that people are required to follow?
We generally, for the services such as Medicare and those types of things, and the outreach, it's over 60 or under 60 with a documented disability. We're able to help a lot of those people as well. Exercise classes or events that we have, such as mosquito awareness is coming up. Anyone in the community could come. And we just actually started a Facebook page, so I'm posting information on there, and we're going to be updating the website to get more information out.
That's fantastic. Now tell me, with the folks who you find that have already been coming in, is it more word of mouth, or is it something that you really think that you need to do a lot more to get out there to folks?
It seems to be word of mouth. It seems to be, my neighbor knew this person who came, so they came in. I think during some of the times of cutbacks where the newsletter wasn't going out as much, or it's not dropped off in as many places, that people almost forget we're there. And we are sort of tucked behind the town hall, so a lot of times people aren't sure where to go.
But you're tucked in an absolutely beautiful building.
It is. It's awesome.
Now,
it's incredible.
Is it 2 years now that you've been open?
I believe it's been 3 years.
Okay.
And they also have a gazebo down in the back that leads out to a pond, and there are baby turtles and baby toads, and we're seeing deer in the morning, so it's a beautiful spot.
So it's a perfect opportunity if people are going to Town Hall and they haven't been to the council yet to take a walk over and be able to just have a look around and see what's available.
Absolutely. We're open 8:30 to 4:30, and everybody's welcome to come in. We'll give the tour, or they can poke around themselves.
Now, I hear seniors say, oh, I'm not old. That's a place for old people. Or councils on aging smell.
Yeah.
Or it's just a bunch of people sitting around not doing anything. But do you
Yeah.
hear those misconceptions from people?
I do. My mother doesn't think she's old enough to come. She has come for a tour later in the day, not during any activities or anything like that. And it is a wide range, and that's why I love the name of the show. It was one that I thought of from the beginning, but I put out to everybody to give me suggestions, and then at the end we had a final vote. And to me, there are some people who are 60 years old who are in Zumba class for 2 hours a day, or I think somebody's 60 years old and they're 80. So it really, the range just spans and what they do. It's a very active community. I do want to, it's been suggested to get maybe a walking group going, or walking on conservation land, so I am starting to look into doing stuff like that. I would like to see a little more focus for those people, to say, you know, it isn't just coming in and sitting around and drinking coffee. We can offer you whatever.
For younger seniors,
Yep.
because when you think about it, if you talk about your age range, if you start around 59, you could have 40 years of range of clients,
Yep.
of people who you serve. So if you think
Absolutely.
about 10 years old to 50 years old and the differences, if it's open to everybody, you must have an incredible range of events for them.
We really do, and we need volunteers. So if somebody thinks they might be too young to come and participate, they could always come and volunteer and get a view of it that way.
What are some of the opportunities for volunteers?
We have Meals on Wheels. They pack the lunches in the morning. Drivers for Meals on Wheels who would deliver them to the homebound seniors. We have custodial needs that we could use help with during the day, office work, helping run an activity, cooking for a barbecue. There's really watering our plants, because that's something we always forget to do. And I feel terrible when I look over and they're brownish. Anything like that. We're pretty much run by the volunteers. The volunteers keep us afloat, so we can always find something to do.
Now, how large is your staff?
We have 2 office staff in addition to me, a custodian. We have 1 person in the kitchen plus a person from Old Colony, and 4 drivers.
For the services you offer, that actually is a very small staff.
It is, and then we have a list of 85 volunteers.
That's incredible. Now, approximately how many people did you say you're serving right now?
Right now we're up and around 1,500 out of about 3,500 total.
Now, with your events, I know that when you post things that are open to the public, for instance, a seminar about the safety with mosquitoes, is that something that people have to be a Kingston resident, or if folks are maybe members of other councils, can they come to events at your council?
They absolutely can. In fact, a lot of people from other towns come to ours, as well as a lot of our people go to others. We all offer something a little bit different, which I think makes us all stronger. So it's not oh, they went there for bingo, they went there for a class. It's look at all the opportunities you have to do something.
And we are pretty lucky in this area that our councils are just so incredibly vibrant.
They are, and they're incredible, and the directors in the surrounding towns have been amazing to work with.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now tell me, just to get back to talking a little bit about the difference between the council and the Friends. So the council provides supports and services for people in the community and surrounding area. So it could be everything from, you know, people coming in to talk to a Shine counselor, go on activities, to, you know, being able to be involved in a Zumba class. What is the difference with what the Friends do?
The Friends hold events. Many times they're fundraising events so that they can provide the funding in order for us to do it. We get a lot of funding. The town of Kingston and the taxpayers are wonderful. I feel we have a pretty good amount allotted to the seniors. We also get a formula grant from the state. Beyond that, for cookouts, or we're going to have a Senior Olympics Day. That kind of thing isn't always funded, and that's where the Friends, through their fundraising, help us to create these services. Or if we have an entertainer, or even some of the workshops that we have that require a payment, they'll help us with.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, you talked a little bit about some of your goals in the short term, so maybe being able to expand some of the offerings and be able to even reach out to children of seniors to help them educate themselves as to what services are available for their families. What are some of the other things that you envision moving forward?
I would like to see the center itself busy from open to close. A lot of times in the afternoon it starts to wear back. We might have 5 people, or there's some people playing cards usually, but it's really quiet in the afternoons, and if we could keep it as vibrant all day long, I would really enjoy that. Beyond the services, a lot of community building. I think that there's so much that, as we were talking about age, there's a gentleman who comes who's just about 100 years old, and he's had such a vast life experience that just listening to him talk would be amazing for even kids to come in. So it's things like that, more community, interactive, multi-generational kinds of events.
And pulling everybody together, maybe using the council as the location to pull people together.
Exactly.
Is there anything, we're going to be going to a break in a moment, but before we do, is there anything that you've learned in your first 2 months that either surprised you or something that you didn't know or didn't expect?
Well, I didn't expect it to be such an easy transition. I thought it would be a little harder. The Friends group, the board is fantastic to work with, so they've made it very easy. They're very supportive, the town administrator. Even Old Colony, who I met with today, we're all just a cohesive team, and I guess I didn't expect that to already be in place when I walked in.
It sounds like having people of like mind, that all of you were able to gather together fairly quickly to work together.
Right, yes.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
excited to have you in Kingston, and we're excited to have you on the channel. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back to talk a little bit more about the variety of services that are offered at the Kingston Council on Aging.
Yeah, maybe in the winter.
That was your finance life. That was your finance life.
Exactly, exactly.
You want to avoid
Briefcase
that now
Barbie,
if you can.
that's what I used to call myself.
That's great.
Hold on, set. 5, 4.
Welcome back to Young at Heart. I am talking to Tammy Murray, the new Director of Elder Affairs for the town of Kingston. Before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about her first 2 months at the council and some of the exciting things that have been happening there. Now, we also talked a little bit about some of the misconceptions people have about the council. That's a place for old people.
Yeah.
But it sounds like in your situation, it's a place for everybody.
It definitely is. Actually, something I didn't mention was we just had a group of, it's a leadership group that the Reed is running over the summer, and they came in last Friday to sit with the seniors, and they ended up in the Zumba class with all the seniors. So they're coming back on August 1st. So we have something for everybody.
That's fantastic. And so you have, let's go through some of the categories of what you offer. So folks who typically would be coming into the council are probably people age 59 or up, typically. And you have a lot of different activities that take place throughout the month. Do you want to run through some of the fun things or some of the creative things that are always happening there?
We do regularly. We have Zumba, yoga, Tai Chi, strength training class, and then another exercise class that I believe they use mostly chair work. So if you can't move your legs very well, you can move your upper body in. So there's something for everybody in that respect too. Even the Zumba classes have different levels.
I was going to ask because
yeah.
Depending on people's physical needs, they're able to adapt in each of the classes.
Yep, and we're adding, or I should say Debbie's adding one more class that's very, very introductory for people who are just coming into it or for people who have less motion.
Can people go in and just observe an exercise class if they're not sure if it's for them?
Yep, absolutely. A lot of the classes and the instructors are open to all of that. And most of the people that are taking the classes don't mind either. And if they know what their class consists of, so they might move you to the front so people don't feel like you're looking at them and you're looking more at the instructor. But we really, it's been very flexible, so it fits pretty much everybody's need.
Now you also have a lot of different activities on a regular basis for people who are interested in arts or in crafts.
Yep, we have a painting group that meets all year long. We have a quilting group. The painting group just had a show back in my first week there. So the whole center was full of painting, and some of the artwork is on display now at the town clerk's office. And the quilters, they had a quilting show a few weeks ago, and that was beautiful. The things that they make, I can only dream about making. They told me they'd teach me, but we'll see.
It is impressive to watch.
It really is. They're amazing.
And to see how they have, they're able to really, it becomes a piece of art with how they use the patterns and the colors throughout.
Yep.
Now,
that's great.
Also, you have, in addition to, things for people to get fit, things for people who are creative, you also have some fun and games that happen on a regular basis.
We do. We have bridge, whist, and pinochle, I know off the top of my head. There's a group even called Memory Joggers. She comes in a couple Fridays a month and brings puzzles for you to figure out. So we're usually laughing because we can't figure them out. But they're like the cartoon ones where you look at it and you can figure out what the word's supposed to be. I'm trying to think of what else.
So it's brain exercise as well.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And then we have workshops, like I mentioned, the mosquito awareness workshop. We had the Sheriff's Department in talking about identity theft yesterday, which was eye-opening even to me, because you learn, if somebody breaks into your house, the first drawer they're going to look at is your top drawer of your bureau, and that's where most of us put our checkbook or our wallet or things of value. So they taught us to get those out of there, and a lot of people share their passwords. So that was interesting to learn. So we have a lot of educational stuff as well.
Now, in addition to the educational stuff, you have a real array of services that you offer. Why don't we start with the Meals on Wheels program? How many people are you serving currently?
Currently, it's about 45 people that we deliver the meals to their homes, and then every day of the week we have a lunch at 11:30. So it's pretty much the same meal, but people can come to the center, and it's a suggested donation of $2.50 to enjoy lunch.
And it's an opportunity for people to get to know each other too.
Yep, yeah, or even to just taste the food. Because there's
and rumor has
misconceptions.
it it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've tried it.
No, for people, I mean, there are so many things, I think, as we grow and age, at different points in our lives, there are different things that, we're learning for the first time. In your 30s, you might be learning about first-time home buying, and there's so much to learn. As you're retiring, you need to learn a lot about Medicare and Medicaid and changes in insurance and maybe changes in taxes, and it can be pretty confusing. But you have a number of people who come in to assist with that.
We do. We have people who come in during tax season, and we have a Shine coordinator who's there 2 days a week who, by appointment, can sit down with you and go over all your insurance needs and then some.
And the insurance issue, from what I understand, can be pretty complex and confusing for people to navigate on their own.
It's very confusing. I helped my mom with it, and I was totally confused. They don't make it very easy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now the Shine counselors, do you find that it's difficult to get an appointment with them because it's so much information, or is it fairly easy to get in quickly?
It's easy to get in quickly, and Ralph Calderero is our Shine counselor, and he's incredible. If he finds that he can't fit you in during his available hours, he'll flex his life to make room to meet with people. So
that's wonderful.
It's incredible.
For folks who are homebound, are any of these services or supports available to them to go to their home or over the phone?
There are. They can have a phone appointment. We do home visits. We hope to do more of those as we get the word out about what our services are. But yes, either or both.
Great. Now you also have, do you have legal and financial
We do. We have a lawyer who comes in a couple times a month by appointment again, and he gives them 15-minute consults. So if your problem or your issue goes more than the 15 minutes, then you have the opportunity to work with him or to work with somebody else. But in that 15 minutes, he gives a lot of information.
Now, what about medical needs? You have some folks who come out. Do you have some general wellness checks you do on a regular basis, don't you?
Yep, we have blood pressure, diabetes screening, and we have people who come out and do pedicures as well. We also have a masseuse who comes out to do chair massage, but she took the summer off.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I didn't get the opportunity to use her before she left.
You'll have to check in as soon as she comes back in the fall. That sounds like a great, extra thing happening in your job place.
Yeah, it is. And I know a lot of people in the holistic field, so I hope to bring more in as well.
Oh, wonderful. Now, tell me, so much is happening on a regular basis, but you also do a lot of special and social events.
We
Talk
do.
a little bit about some of the things you normally do.
We, this month alone, we had a huge barbecue where they put so much food on your plate. It was more than I could even eat. It was delicious. So that was I think about 50 or 60 people attended that. We had a ice cream social yesterday. We have a Grandparents' Day coming up this month where we're going to invite the people to bring their grandchildren, and I know some of the people's grandchildren live far away, so they can borrow my kids or I'll find them some kids. But just to share the differences and how it was then and how it is now. In my life, my mom, she has an in-law with me, so she's always been around my kids, but I know that's not the norm. So I think sharing that information is something that's gotten lost through the years. So I just thought it would be great. We're coming up with some fun games to get everybody involved in that.
Now, do you still have Senior Olympics? And
we do. We're having that this month as well.
Because that's been a hugely popular event in Kingston for years.
It is, and it's something I didn't want to let fall away either. So we're already working on that. We have some new games that we're hoping to bring to the table. We've already planned the menu, so we're halfway there.
It's a really busy summer at your place.
It is. Yep.
Now, in addition to I'm sure, having been in the town, you're familiar with some of the social issues that are of concern in your town. But with seniors, with our aging population, are you finding there are issues that are of particular interest to the folks you're working with?
I do. I think the biggest. Well, I'm from housing, but it is housing. Working there and working here. People don't always know what's out there. You hear that there's subsidized housing, but people might not know that there's probably a lengthy waiting list, or you can go to Town and Country or another park like it, but the sale of your house, you have to buy the mobile home and pay taxes on the land or rent on the land, however that works. So there's those intricacies that people don't always understand that we hope to bring more information around that. If you don't want to do maintenance, you might do better in a condo than getting a mobile unit.
That definitely, I know from my parents alone that, when you're in your 60s or 70s or perhaps older and your family has grown and moved out, you could be one or two people in a 4-bedroom house, and that's far too much for your needs or for the ability to keep up. But it can be scary to make those decisions, and where do you go from your family home to a smaller location.
Right, and sometimes that transition just isn't fun. If you're going from a 10-room house to a 3-room apartment, it's not always something that you look forward to.
I don't think anybody looks forward to moving necessarily.
Right. It's true.
I hear over and over again from our different towns that something that really is becoming or has been a grown issue are grandparents raising grandchildren. That's much more common today. Do you find that that's an issue for folks in Kingston?
It is definitely, and it's something that we're trying to get more information about, how to reach those people. The people that are doing that aren't necessarily the people that are coming to the center. But they're the people that you may bump into while you're dropping off your own kids at school. So getting that kind of information, workshops, support groups, things like that, is something that we would really like to get involved with.
Now, you talked about doing more outreach and finding ways to connect to people in the community who could benefit from the services or just supports that you offer. What are some of the ideas or ways that you might reach out to connect to different audiences?
We just set up our Facebook page. It's called Kingston Council on Aging, so you can like it. And that was more geared, a lot of the people on the board were hesitant to start a Facebook page, even though almost everybody has a Facebook page. And it was because of the way that pages are administered. So we really focused on setting up a page that's going to provide information to people, and it is going to provide it to a younger age group than the people that are actually coming to the center. So hopefully that will get more attention. So, you know, if you look it up and say, oh, my mom could use a pedicure, you know, that'll bring in more information that way.
Now, what about connecting through local churches?
We are going to start reaching out to the local churches. That's something that I've had on my list, but I haven't had the opportunity in the short time I've been there yet to do. But we are going to start doing that, as well as try and contact people through the mail when I know that their 60th birthday is coming up. You know, and let them know what we're there for.
And that they're welcome to come in, for a visit.
Yep.
So there are so many different ways people can be a part of what's happening at the council, no matter what their age, no matter what their needs. What are some of the ways people can get involved?
The biggest is volunteerism, and bringing in any type of skill or craft or idea. If someone came in today and they saw an artist, I believe in Duxbury somewhere, so we're going to reach out to that artist for information. I heard yesterday about someone who has been collecting old pieces and arrowheads, and he has a whole big room in his house full of them. We're going to contact him and see if he might want to come and talk about what he has. Anything like that, any school or teaching group, culinary department at the high school, anything like that could come and get involved and talk or just hang out.
It sounds like there's going to be so much that's going to be happening, and it's a really exciting time at the council. Tell me, how can people get in touch with you to find out more?
They can call us at 781-585-0511, or they could email me at tmurray@kingstonmass.org.
And they can also visit the website?
The website,
look for you on Facebook.
Exactly.
Excellent. Tammy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to the channel. We're very excited to have you, and we are very excited to have Young at Heart for all of the residents of Kingston. So we look forward to having you again.
Thanks. I'm really excited about it too.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the first edition of Young at Heart.